Greetings and welcome. Thanks so much for coming by and checking out the video, checking out the channel. I really appreciate it very much. This is a collective energy reading and it is timeless. So whenever you find this video, however you find it, it is the right time for you to be getting this message. I am welcoming my returning friends. Thanks so much for coming back. And for new friends that are new to the channel, please feel welcome. This is a space that is designed to promote encouragement, support, feedback, guidance, all of that kind of thing for the collective. Okay, and if you feel so inclined to hit the like and subscribe buttons, it helps the YouTube algorithm help other people find these videos and find the channel. So I appreciate that as well. Thank you again. So we have been going through the Woodland Wardens Oracle Deck by Jessica Roux, and today's card is card number 6, which is the Frog and Lotus, and it stands for Metamorphosis. So card number 6, obviously one of the Tesla numbers, and it does represent the lovers in the traditional tarot, which represents choice, decisions that you're making. It can also represent your connection to either twin flame or higher power, that kind of thing. I'm not sure that that's the energy that's coming across with this card in this particular deck, but just for a frame of reference for you as well. So just looking at the energy from the card itself, we'll go into the extended reading from the book in a little bit, but I do want to connect with the card itself. We've asked for clarification and guidance from the divine source, from God, from our spirit guides and our higher self, and this is our response. This is our answer, the response to us from the universe, from source. And we want to pay attention to the card itself first and get an impression from the card directly, because that's the portal. These cards are the portal to that energy specifically. So we know that the lotus flower is a divine emblem. It's very strong image from Eastern philosophies and religions, Hinduism in particular, as well as Buddhism. And the idea being that, like the rest of the water lilies, they are resurrected from the muck and the mire down below, the stuff that you can't see, that's really kind of disgusting, that includes like fish poop and frog poop and bird poop and all sorts of other kinds of poop, and as well as the debris from rotting vegetation and stuff. And out of that comes these gorgeous multi-petaled experiences of life, of creation. And just keeping that in mind, we also know a lot about frogs because they are everywhere across the globe, and they are known for starting out as totally aquatic creatures. They don't breathe air at all as tadpoles. They're like fish, but somehow they manage to basically eat themselves. They eat their tails. They incorporate that tail and develop legs and respiratory system. It's phenomenal. If you have never actually done a deep dive on frogs, I highly recommend that you do so, because they're totally fascinating. So the energy that I'm getting from this card, absolutely metamorphosis, as it says, but also just the energy of creation. I'm getting the energy of creation, of new beginnings. So let's take a look in the book and see what the extended reading says for today. And this is a good time to get out your pencil and paper, journals, Chromebook, whatever it is that you use, iPad, and jot down. There's going to be 1 or 2 questions, looks like 2 questions at the end of this reading that we are encouraged to consider and meditate on throughout the day, to really let this energy reading sink in and become a part of us. So let's find out what card number 6 has to say. This is the Frog and Lotus, which stands for Metamorphosis. This card reminds us that change is natural. Rebirth is possible. and a healing balance can be achieved. The frog, developing as it does from a tiny tadpole, symbolizes transformation. The lotus flower, too, symbolizes rebirth, unfurling even amid murky waters. Going through such a change can be difficult and a struggle, but the resulting metamorphosis opens us to self-growth, self-acceptance, and happiness. So consider what in your life needs changing and think about the steps you can take to achieve that change. You owe it to yourself to allow your own growth and rebirth. And so here is the first question for us to consider for today. What can I change in myself or my life for the better? What can I change in myself or my life for the better? And the second question is, how can I be more accepting of change I cannot control? How can I be more accepting of change I cannot control? So my initial input, feedback on question number one, what can I change in myself or my life for the better? This reminds me of the Love Seat Therapist episode that I just released yesterday. I'm not going to tag that onto here. You can take a look at that for yourself if you feel so inclined, but I do recommend it. It is a deep, deep dive on how to get out of our comfort zone and get into the growth zone, staying out of the stress zone and just finding that little Goldilocks area where we can continue to grow and expand ourselves. So that I do recommend taking a look at that after you get done listening to this reading. What can I change in myself or my life for the better? So this can be physically with our bodies. Is there something we can do for our diet or actions, activity level, energizing energy, that kind of thing? Okay. Exercise. What is it that I can change in myself or my life for the better? Can I maybe do a little bit better or be a little more efficient at my work? Or can I tidy up things around my house, make that flow a little bit better? There's a whole variety of things. There's always room for improvement, right? There's always room for improvement. So the second question, how can I be more accepting of change I cannot control? That's a sticking point for me for sure. I am still recovering control freak. Okay. We know that everything that is outside of what we think and what we feel and what we do, anything that's outside of us is outside of our control. We just got to get over that. We got to get over that whole need to control people, to control situations, to even control silly things. When I go to make my tea in the morning, am I paying attention? Am I being mindful and pouring the water carefully? Or am I just kind of just pouring it wherever and it sloshes all over the counter, right? What can I be more accepting of change that I cannot control? I can control where I'm putting the water, but I can't control if the machine decides to stop working, for example, or if my computer does something weird. That happens a lot, especially when I'm trying to record these. It's amazing how that kind of thing happens, right? So how can I be more accepting of change that I cannot control? We had a good example of that a few years ago with the pandemic, right? Change that we could not control. We could fight it. We could yell about it, we could get upset, we could be bitter, but it didn't change anything, did it? It was still there. So just keeping in mind, how can I be more accepting? We have to accept it. We have to accept things that we cannot control. Be like water, right? Be like the water that the frog and the lotus flower come from, that environment. Water doesn't argue with the boulder in its way. Just goes around it, goes over it, goes under it, does whatever it has to do. Water will always flow around and over and under things. It'll find the path of least resistance, and that's what we are encouraged and invited to do as well. How can we be more accepting of the change we cannot control? So metamorphosis is our energy for the day. Do not be surprised if things come up throughout the day that feel like they're changing. Okay, and what you have to decide is how you're going to respond to that change. If you're going to respond from a place of love, of acceptance, of joy and peace, then that's the energy you're going to be putting into that situation, and it's going to come out more positively, just flat out. Okay, feel free in the comments to let me know if this resonated with you, if there are things that you would like me to be doing with these readings. Also, please let me know that as well. I love you. You are amazing. I know sometimes it's hard to see that, and I know I say that all the time, but I don't want you to stop hearing that. It is very important. You are amazing. You are unique. You are the only person that can do what you do, who can be who you are. And we need you. The collective needs you. The world needs you. Reality needs you. Our creation needs you. We need you to be at the top of your game. And so if things are changing, be water. Go with them. Be the frog. And create your own life of power and opportunity, right? Be like the lotus flower and bring that beauty out of what looks like trash, right? So that's what I've got for you for today. I love you. Have the most amazing, fantastic day. You're going to totally do this. You know, I know you don't think so, but you will. Prove me wrong. Go out there and get it, okay? Have the most amazing, fantastic day. And ciao for now.